So today is basically an introduction with meditation. All right. So since most of you have not done um, meditation before, or some of you don't even know what meditation is, as I asked you. So we're just gonna keep it very light, and we'll try and see what we can do with our 1 hour today on a Sunday. And I hope that it will be useful for you in some ways. So after sitting cross-legged, take a few long and deep breaths. Close your eyes, Arav. Yes. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale. Exhale. Very nice. We will begin with a small prayer. All of you keep your eyes closed. Okay, and just focus on your breathing. Sahana bhavatu, sahano bhunaktu, saha viryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu, ma vidvishadvahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, very nice. Let's begin. So I'll begin by explaining what meditation is, and then you can go ahead and practice some. Okay? Otherwise we will do something and you will be confused what we are doing, or you might not be interested in what we are doing. Okay, so it's important to know what we are doing and then do it. So one second. Can everybody see me on the screen? Yeah. Okay, cool. So meditation is an exercise for the mind, in simple words. Okay, so to make your body strong, you guys run and jog and you do various kinds of exercises, right? So in the same way, for your mind to become strong, you need to practice something so that the mind doesn't create trouble. And what are the troubles? The troubles are worry, the troubles are anxiety, fear, okay, sadness, and boredom. All these things are some sort of weakness in the mind. All right. So if you sometimes feel fearful, if you sometimes feel bored, if you sometimes feel lazy or tired in the mind, not in the body, if you sometimes feel anxious or very excited, your heart starts beating very fast, you're not calm, that means that the mind is a little weak and the external conditions are making it react in a certain way. Are you understanding? Okay, so that's what we need meditation for, to make the mind comfortable with everything that is around, what is happening around us. Okay, so right now you are kids and then you grow up, and right now you have small problems like your toys and your studies. Later on the stage will increase, you will have to see many more things, and you will find that you are if you have these things already, the weaknesses of the mind, then you will feel not so good in the mind. So basically, to feel comfortable all the time, to feel peaceful, to feel happy, you need to make your mind strong. And the way to do that is by meditating. Okay, now the question is, how do we meditate? Who can meditate? And what are the steps to meditation? So basically, everybody can meditate. If you have a body, you can exercise. Similarly, if you have a mind, you can meditate also. Okay, so all you have to do is certain things. There is not particular one way of meditating, right? And there are multiple ways of meditating. Just like exercise, some people can run, some people can swim, some people can skip. Okay, so there are different kinds of exercises for the body, same body. In the same way, for the mind as well, to exercise the mind, there are different kinds of methods of meditating. Okay, all right. So focus. Okay, in the session, you can make your hair later. Okay, all right. So different kinds of methods of meditating. The simplest kind is just by sitting and observing the mind and looking at your thoughts, watching your breath, and just sitting silently with yourself. Okay, that's the simplest kind of meditation. Second kind of meditation could be looking at something and focusing. Okay, it could be your studies also. So when you're studying, paying 100% attention to that particular thing, okay, is also considered meditating. But because at the end, meditation is nothing but the heightened state of mind, where the mind is very concentrated, very disciplined, very focused, not going here and there. So that's the state of meditation, when the mind has the ability to stay at one point for extended period of time without getting disturbed. And you can call it this capacity of your mind in different ways. You can say you have self-awareness. A person who is very focused, you can say he's very intelligent, he's very clear-headed. Okay, there are no doubts, there is a lot of clarity. And you can say confidence is one more quality of such mind. Okay, will be very confident. And fearlessness, no fear. So you will become fearless if you have that quality of the mind. So lots of characteristics of the mind, good characteristics of the mind, strong characteristics of the mind will start to develop once you start practicing meditation. Understood this much? Are you guys having any difficulty in understanding what I'm saying? Give me a thumbs up if it's okay, thumbs down if it is okay, good. All right, I'm happy that you understand. All right, so now let's move on. So meditation is not just the 5, 10, 20 or 1 hour that you spend every morning. Okay, so that is the main practice. So every day you have to practice meditation. So in the morning when you wake up, early morning, there are certain things related to meditation, right? So just like exercise, you cannot exercise anytime, right? You're eating, you cannot exercise and eat at the same time, right? Or you cannot just simply wake up from the sleep and just start exercising, or you cannot eat immediately after eating also, you cannot. So similarly for meditation also, there are some rules and methodology, how and when and what kind of space should be there, right? So let's talk about that and then we will do it. Okay, so for meditation, it's important that the space is conducive. Okay, it should not be very chaotic or a very disturbing space. You cannot go out in the market and meditate, or you cannot go in front of the TV where the television is playing and meditate, right? You need a quiet space for yourself. You cannot have a meditation session when people are chit-chatting. So if you are joining now or if you join later, to all those people, you can access the recording, you can tell me, so that you have a clear understanding of what we are doing here and what we are talking about today. So yeah, all right. Now we were discussing the conditions, the conducive environment for meditation, right? So like I said, you cannot, just the way you cannot study with full focus when there are kids playing around you, In the same way, you cannot meditate when people are talking around, doing their things. There's a lot of sound, a lot of activity going on. In that environment, a person cannot meditate. So, first thing is there should be, silence. Natural sounds are okay. Birds chirping is okay. Okay, but it shouldn't be, a very chaotic kind of place. So, a quiet place. Okay, next thing, what time you should meditate? The best time to meditate is early morning or late evening. Okay, so because during those times, basically people are not very active. First of all, there's not a lot of sound, not a lot of traffic, and a lot of people are sleeping also. So during that time, you can find the space for yourself easily to practice. And also, most importantly, because that time your mind is very calm, because you just slept the whole night, and when you wake up with a fresh mind, you have a very relaxed state of mind. So it's very easy during that time to meditate and be still. Okay, so that's another thing that you need to keep in mind before you start the practice of meditation. Either morning or late evening also is good. After eating food, just before going to bed, you can do it. Afternoon is not considered very suitable, but later on, as you become more advanced practitioner, you can practice anytime. You can practice even in crowd then. So, but to begin with, you have to keep in mind that your meditation practice is nurtured. Like when a kid is small, or when a plant is small, it needs extra care. So just like that, when your meditation process is in the beginning, it needs extra care. So that the plant of meditation doesn't die, you have to give the conducive environment for it to build up. And once it has grown to a sufficient amount, once your practice is very strong, you're a good meditator already, then you can meditate anytime. Then the things outside don't affect you. Okay, that's the power of meditation. The time, the space, the environment, okay, all these things. Now methods, like what is the easiest way? So suppose you have got the time, you woke up early, you have the space, nobody's around, you're sitting in a room alone. Then what to do? Now we will discuss about that. So first thing is, since you are all kids, I'll customize it for you. Okay, so what you can do is, you can think of something that you really like. Okay, and just think about that only one thing. You don't have to think about anything else. If you are a very fond of some particular thing, like a chocolate or anything, I want you to think of that particular thing only. Okay, so if you have a particular chocolate, so just think about that chocolate, and then visualize that chocolate. Okay, but your mind should not travel from that chocolate to another chocolate, or even to anything else. It has to stay. So prolonged concentration and focus on that one single thing will help your mind to become sharp, more and more sharp. Similarly, if you like any particular game, sports, or a subject, or painting, or anything, you can think about that particular thing only and focus all your attention onto that one thing, and then try and see how long you can go on for holding your concentration, holding your focus onto that one single thing. Okay, so activities doesn't matter. What you choose, what word you choose as your mantras doesn't matter. What object you choose as your gods doesn't matter. All that matter is what are you doing with it? How are you using it for your own good? Let's not talk about all the other things. For simplicity, you can choose a favorite word or your favorite sound in the world. Whatever is your favorite sound in the world, okay? Different people might have different kinds of sounds, their favorite sounds. So choose a favorite sound, any letter, any word, any phrase, okay? And then try to repeat it mentally within yourself without speaking it. and then keep repeating it, and then see, is your mind sticking to that particular sound or phrase, or is it diverting from place to place? If it is diverting, you bring it back to the sound, bring it back to your phrase, and then just stay there. So in yoga we call it mantra. Okay, mantra might sound a very mystical word, but a mantra is nothing but a combination of sounds that has special powers. Okay, and when repeated enough times, it helps you to develop this strength of the mind, this meditating power of the mind. So you can even choose mantra also. If you already have mantra, if you're from a family which is very devotional and you have been introduced to some kinds of mantra, then you can also choose your mantra. Similarly, you can choose the form, like a form of anybody. You can choose the form of the person you admire the most. You can choose the form of God also. Okay, so you can choose that form and then meditate upon that form. Meditate, I mean just concentrate and fix your attention onto that form. You see, the problem is, all of us, we go to the school, we go to colleges, they teach us stuff, a lot of stuff. They teach us so many subjects, but the basic thing is they don't teach us how to concentrate and pay attention. I think that's the most basic thing that we should be taught before we start even learning anything. Okay, so once you learn how to build attention, how to listen, how to focus and concentrate and grasp everything that is coming to you, then you will realize that one thing that you hear, you will not forget it. You don't have to revise your syllabus. You don't have to read again and again and memorize the things. Your understanding, your clarity of mind will become very sharp. The mind will become very sharp, and whatever you remember, whatever you read once, you see once, it will stay in your mind, right? So you will not, like people nowadays, they have to keep reminders in their smartphones. Okay, Siri, remind me for buying vegetables in the evening, or what is the other one? Amazon, I don't know. Okay, so whatever. So we put reminders in our phone for simple things as well, for the things that we need to do every day. Remind me to exercise. Is that a thing to remind? Remind me to drink water. Is that a thing to drink, like to be reminded of? So we're depending on these electronic gadgets and the artificial intelligence outside, that we are losing our own intelligence in some way. Okay, so it's like not exercising at all and then telling, okay, I will need a wheelchair, I will need a machine to move me. So we are doing the same thing with our mind with all this technology. I'm not saying that technology itself is bad. It definitely makes the task, definitely makes the world itself a very easy place. We can reach anywhere, we can communicate anywhere the way we are communicating right now. It's only because of technology, so I'm not criticizing it, not yet. Okay, try your level best. Okay, whatever you can, as much as you can. These things will make sense eventually also, as you see more, as you experience more, as you start watching yourself. Okay, yeah, and this is a little serious stuff. This is a little more serious talk for you, but it is what it is. Okay, let's come back, let's simplify it a little more, and then we will proceed. And we are talking about meditation, and I was talking about how the mind is capable of giving you peace, joy and calmness, and how the mind can be so sharp that it doesn't have to depend on any external object to remind, okay, to learn. So for the exams, okay, you don't have to read again and again, you don't have to memorize again and again. So the mind will become so sharp that once you read, it will hold it. So you become more efficient in your mind, you become a more a much better student study wise. You become a much better uh, uh, person, in whatever things you do, because everything that we do, we have to use the mind. We cannot do anything without using the minds. Even while playing sports, you will become a better sportsman, because your coordination, your hands eye coordination will be good. Moms, no need to call you. Okay, all right. So now let's begin on the process. Come back, we were discussing how to meditate. So you, first thing in the morning, you freshen up, you brush your teeth, take a bath, and then sit quietly by yourself. Just 5 minutes, 10 minutes is okay in the beginning to start with. Okay, so in the morning you have to just sit 5-10 minutes by yourself. Nobody should be there. Okay, the condition is nobody should be there. And then you can start practicing focusing. Practicing what? Developing your attention, developing the capacity of the mind to become sharp and to grasp things, to understand things, to present clarity, to remove fear, to remove doubt, to remove confusion. Okay, these kind of things you have to practice. And how do you practice? Just by one simple practice: focus the mind at one thing and discipline the mind. This is called discipline, and you will be amazed. Although it's such a simple thing, I'm saying, okay, just focus the mind in one thing. It's such a simple thing, but simple thing to say but not to do. When you start practicing it, you will realize that the mind goes in 10 different directions at the same time. So it's hard, it's really hard to bring the mind to one thing. Okay, so now let's practice something that will help us to make the mind one pointed, to make the mind more disciplined, more aware, clear, and sharp. So this exercise is a breathing exercise, and what we will do here is one pranayama. Basically all the breathing exercise, they will make your mind very strong. Okay, so let's begin. I'll tell you how to do this. So you're gonna exhale forcefully through your nose like this. Can you do that? Yes. Right. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Can you do it, Shirish? Very good. So you will see that the belly is going inside every time you do this. Belly is going inside, right? Very nice. So let's begin. We will do this for 2 minutes, and for the 2 minutes just focus on how you're breathing. You should not think of anything else. Okay, let's begin. Inhale and begin. Throughout the time, was your mind all the time thinking about the breath, or did you felt that you had some other thought also? Give me a thumbs up if you had some other thoughts. Like if you think about something else. Yeah, okay, Madhura, you did. What about you, Arav? Did you happen to think about something other than the breath? Yes. Shirish, did some thought came to your mind? No. Oh, that's wonderful then. Okay, so keep continuing with that. But majority, we saw that there were different kinds of thoughts that were coming to the mind. At least one thought or two thought or something. Okay, because the moment we try to still the mind is not used to that. It is like the river, it cannot stop. Okay, unless it's frozen. So what I'm saying is, this is what you have to practice, to slowly, gradually practice. So if you have 10 thoughts right now coming to you in 2 minutes, slowly as you practice, eventually you will have 9 thoughts, 8 thoughts, 6 thoughts, 5 thoughts, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the duration, so suppose between the two thoughts there is a gap, okay, where you're not thinking about anything, you're calm, you're peace, you're present. So slowly and gradually that gap will increase, and you will start experiencing the beauty of that gap. Right now we are constantly living in the emergence and disappearance of thoughts. There is no gap between our thoughts. There is one thought, and then immediately after that it is followed by another thought, and then another thought, and then another. So we think that this is the reason also why we think that we are the mind, that we think that we are the person that we are. That's why we think that we are this limited, whatever we think. That's why we have the thought that of our own personality, that we think, right, I am such and such kind of person. Some people think that I'm very brave and this kind of person. Some person might think that, okay, I am a little fearful person. Some people might think I'm very strong. Okay, but these are nothing. Nobody is strong, nobody is weak, nobody is more braver than anybody. These are just mental conditions that we have told ourselves that we are such and such people. Some people might think that I'm an intelligent person. Some person might think that I cannot remember things, I'm not good at studies. These are only made by you only. It's not that you are bad at study or you're good at study. This is that you believe that. So whatever you believe, your mind will start presenting those kind of, the mind will function in accordance to that what you believe. So if you believe such and such things, your brain will start acting accordingly. Okay, so, and eventually you will see yourself becoming that kind of person. But you are none of that, you are beyond all of that. But if you have to make yourself, condition yourself with the mind, why not make yourself something good? If you have to live with the thoughts, so let the thoughts be of positive kind. So along with the process of concentrating and focusing the mind, I want you guys to have a positive mind. Everybody follow? This is important. Okay, positive mindset. Okay, Sri's positive mindset beta means you have to think positively, you have to think good things. Okay, so whenever something comes to you, when you think that it's not good, you're thinking and you're not feeling good about it, stop thinking. Immediately become aware that you're feeling bad, and because of a particular way of thinking, so immediately come back and change the thoughts, think about something good. That's a simple practice. Okay, so Arav and Shirish, I want you guys to watch your mind throughout the day, not only 1 hour right now, not only for 20 minutes in the morning. Every time when you're eating food, just see what you are thinking. Become very curious about what your mind is doing in the background, because the mind has the habit of functioning by itself in the background while your awareness is somewhere else. You're eating food, but the mind is doing so many things in the background. So if your mind is not disciplined, it will create troubles for you. So it might think something bad, like which you don't like, and you're not even aware that the mind is thinking something which is not productive, which is not good for you. And then eventually you might find yourself, you're thinking like that, you're getting worried. Okay, so what is the simple exercise is, watch yourself, always be aware of what your mind is thinking. Understood? Always, like all the time, except for sleeping, because that's a little difficult. But when you become a very advanced practitioner, you can even be aware of your sleep, what your mind is doing. Okay, so I want you to practice the focusing part of meditation, what I just taught you, by practicing pranayama. Second thing, positive mindset. So anytime you realize that the mind is thinking something which you don't like, or which is not good, which is not feeling good, and you will know how it feels, okay, then immediately change. So shift to something else. Maybe bring a light thought. Maybe visualize yourself meeting your parents, having a good time, going out with your parents, meeting your friends, and playing something. Or if you like school, going to the school. Or if you like picnic, going to the picnic. Or if you want to become something in your life, visualize yourself becoming that person. So those kind of things, you have to change the thoughts. So that's how you recondition the mind. Okay, so you take away the thoughts which are not feeling good and replace with the thoughts that feel good to you, that you want to think. Okay, so basically it should make you happy. And what is happy? Relaxation is happiness. So when you're happy, you're not tensed. Okay, so if the cartoon character is making you frightened, don't think about that. If the cartoon character is making you worry because the cartoon himself is in a situation where the cartoon has some problem and it is making you worry, you are taking the problem of the cartoon, then don't think about it. Think of the cartoon who is joyful. Like, if the cartoon is happy, then think about it. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So these are the two simple practices for the mind for you guys to practice. Okay. We will not go very deep into this because otherwise you will forget everything. So just remember two things. Till now it's been 40-45 minutes. I've said so many things, but the crux is only two things. What is the crux? Okay, the crux is practice focusing your mind at one point, practicing breathing exercise, the one that we did, or by repeating a mantra, like you can repeat any mantra, or by repeating a sound. You can repeat the sound like Om, or you can repeat the sound like Ah, and just like focus on that sound. And you can also take up some activities that are as good as meditation, just like music. Music is very close to meditation. Music is very close to meditation. So you can start learning music. You can start practicing singing, or start practicing playing some instrument, because that also requires a very high level of concentration. And that is the reason why learning music is so difficult, because it is so close to meditation. Okay, so not everybody can play anything, even if you commit, but it is possible if you stick to it. So right now your kids, your mind is very fresh and not conditioned by a lot of things. So you can, if you start now, you can learn a lot of beautiful things, good things. Okay, so I want you to practice only these two things: focusing the mind, any activity, you can take up anything. And second thing is positivity, positive mindset, by replacing the thought that doesn't feel good by the thoughts that feel good. So anything that has happened good in your life, or anything that is supposed to happen good, you can think about that. Okay, but eventually you will see that you will not see the benefit in one day. So suppose you practice today, you will see definitely, but the mind is not so sensitive yet to recognize it. There is definitely some change happening to your mind right now, but your mind will not be very sensitive to detect it. So over the time, when you keep practicing, you will realize that you have come a long way from how you used to be, how you used to think, how you used to feel. Most importantly, how you used to feel, that will change in itself. and that is a beautiful thing. Change, if it happens for good, it feels good. Okay, so the last thing that we're gonna do today is one more exercise, breathing exercise that I'm gonna teach you, and later on you can practice all this. And we have everyday classes, group classes. You can join them if you want. These are yoga classes, and we do a lot of asanas, which is good for the body, exercising, and also some meditation and breathing exercise, which is good for the mind. Okay, so yeah, let me know if you want to join. I'll drop my number on the chat box, and you can copy my number, you can take my number, and you can inquire with me about anything. Or you can also share with me how your practice is going on. Are you practicing or not, and what are the difficulty you are facing, right? So this is my number. You can WhatsApp me, or you can directly reach out to me and seek help, seek guidance if you need anything. I'll try what I can do. Okay, so now let's practice one more breathing exercise. This is a simple breathing exercise.
I am writing your number.
The Anulom Vilom Pranayama. You might have seen some people do it. So this is how we do. We use the thumb and we use the last two fingers to close these two nostrils like this. Okay, so this and this, this and this. Now how we do it? So first, close your right nostril with the right hand. Sirish, beta, use your right hand. Arav, use your right hand. Is that your right hand? I think that's your left hand, no? Yeah, use your right hand, Sirish. Now close the left side. Hold the breath inside, okay? This is important, to hold it inside. So you have to hold the breath inside. Close both the nostrils. And now exhale through the right side. Inhale through the right side. Close the right nostril. Exhale through the left side. Inhale left. Hold the breath inside. Exhale through the right. Inhale right. Hold inside and exhale left. Okay. All right. So that's a simple exercise, and again you have to do this exercise for about 10 minutes every day, 15 minutes every day, depending on how much time you have. If you can do 10 minutes, it is good. At least 10 minutes, it's very good. Okay, minimum is 5 minutes. Think about your breath at that time, because you are practicing something, right? So you should, if you think about the good thing, then you will forget the breath, which nostril to breathe out from, which nostril to now breathe. So if you breathe in through this, you have to remember that now you have to hold and breathe out through this. Okay, so if you think about something else during this time, you will forget. You will inhale through this and exhale through this only. So it is important to think about the breath during this time. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah, and practice. Unless your mind becomes so strong and concentrated that it is only thinking about the breath. Some exercise for the mind that has to be done in order to make the mind very sharp. So that's all for today. We will not keep it too long. Okay, and you kids have been very nice to listen to me, and